Hi, I'm Cassidy, and this is my self assessment. So, who am I? I was born in Wilmington, North Carolina on February 9th, 1996. So, I'm 21 years old. I was born and raised in Wilmington, North Carolina. I haven't moved. I moved the first time when I was 18 years old to come to Appalachian State in July for summer school. So, I started playing sports when I was 3 years old, so that kind of was my background through my whole life and kind of made me who I am today. I played almost every sport you can think of. That was volleyball, soccer, basketball, softball, track. I even danced and cheerleaded. So I did it all. So that kind of made me want to get into exercise science because I do love sports and science and things like that. I'm also very interested in, food and how it helps you perform. So that's why I wanted to minor in nutrition. So here's just a few pictures about me. I love the water. I'm from Wilmington. I live on the intercoastal. We have a boat. I just love being out there. I love to paddleboard, wakeboard, anything that involves the water. And then my boyfriend, we've been together for 2 years. The bottom picture is the Coliseum. And obviously I love to travel. I love Europe so much. Can't wait to go back. And then volleyball obviously is one of my biggest passions. That's why I'm at Appalachian State. So, oops. Okay. So my big five results. My open mindedness, I was 13%. So I'm very I like a set routine. I don't like to change my order up because if that happens, I get very flustered and I feel like I'm not going to be able to complete all my tasks I have for that day. I'm very traditional and regular. I do almost the same thing every day. I have my set structure. I don't like to wait from it very much. For conscientiousness, I was 96%. So I'm very determined and self motivated. I don't need someone else to tell me to do something for me to do it. I'll just do it because that's what I want to do. I'm very timely. I believe on time is late. So I'm at least 5 minutes early to everywhere I go. Depending on what event it is, it could be 30 minutes, 15 minutes. It just depends. But I can't stand when people are late. So that's a big thing. And I'm also very cautious. I'm very cautious in who I'm friends with, who I trust, who I tell things to, um, because I just don't like. It's hard for me to trust certain people because I don't know what their motives might be. So that's another reason why my conscientiousness was so high. My extroversion was also 96%. I am a very energetic and forceful person. I'm good with talking to people and in crowds. I'm not so good on front of a camera. It's a little more different, but I'm getting more used to it. So that's a good thing about this class. Um, but I found recently, since I've gotten older, that I do need like a little bit of time alone, away from the crowd, just kind of by myself and quiet. I used to always just be around people 24/7. I had a sleepover every night. I loved it. Now I kind of need some more time to myself, but I'm still really good in crowds. And I don't like to be alone for too long, which is, why I'm so extroverted, I guess. My agreeableness was my lowest score of 4%. Um, I'm pretty relentless, and I'll tell you like it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat what I think because I don't think that's helping anyone. I just don't really care about things that I think don't matter. It was just kind of bad. This quote that's on the screen it's from a Chipotle bag, but it's in my coach's office. That's why I know it. It says, often in life, the most important question we can ask ourselves is, do we really have the problem we think we have? Which I think is something we should all think about because a lot of times we'll have this problem or this issue and we'll be so caught up in it and think it's, life ending, but really it's so simple and you won't even think about it in, 6 months from now. So I that's a lot of times why I might not agree with certain people because they might try to, tell me some of their problems they're having, and I just don't find those to be, problems that they should be complaining about. So I just tell them that I don't really care, which is kind of sad. Another reason I think I scored so low in agreeableness is because I tend to think I'm right most of the time. And a lot of people, they know that about me. But I know this is going to sound very self-centered, but I really don't care. Most of the time when I make a decision that I think is right, it often is the right decision. So that's why it's hard for me to agree with other people and what they think. Negative emotion, I'm in the middle. So that's the only one I was in the middle for. Every other one I was, really high or extremely low. But, I'm not, it kind of depends on my situation. So, if it's a really, really stressful situation, it's really takes a lot out of me, then I might be more, towards that negative emotion, more anxious and stuff. But I've been trying to, with things that aren't that important, I try not to get too nervous about it because that just stresses me out even more. And I don't think it helps anyone to be very anxious about situations that really don't need to require any angst. So my life experience, like I said, I played almost every sport growing up. And then when I got to high school, I focused more on volleyball and soccer. I played club soccer competitively and also volleyball club and high school. I played both throughout high school. So it was tough to balance it all. I drove 2 hours to go to volleyball practice. So it was a 4-hour round trip. Really thankful for my parents who would drive me to practice every day, 4 times a week. So that was really tough. And I just was really blessed to have these awesome coaches that really worked with me and let me, I had to miss lots of practices because I had a different game or a different practice. So, it was tough, but I would always be the person that would, if I was at practice, I was fully there. I would stay after if the coach was willing to work with me, or some players would, give me some extra reps. I love to do that. Because I was tended to be a leader or captain on almost every team I was a part of. I took that role because I'm pretty hard-headed and I'm ready to, get the job done. I'm very passionate. But I sometimes had to take a step back as the actual captain position because I was not there all the time, but I was still a very vocal leader. And I'm a type of leader that leads by example. I don't need to tell people, they're doing something wrong all the time. They should just, they see how hard I'm working. So maybe that they'll follow that from me. So college volleyball, that's taught me a whole bunch of new leadership skills. So I was a part of the leadership council. I was on it for 2 years until it got suspended and is no longer. But in the leadership council, we would read different books like the one on the screen, the Captain's Manual by Jeff Jansen. He's written 3 other books kind of like that. They're kind of interactive books. We read all 3, and they're very eye-opening. They just teach you what you think if you think you're committed, and it just kind of more explains what a committed person would be like. And it's just they're very resourceful books for leading and being a captain and just team in general. And it also applies to businesses and so forth. So with volleyball, we've done a lot of volunteering. We volunteer at the elementary schools to read to the kids, which is so much fun. I love doing that. We've also worked at the hospitality house and different things whenever someone will contact us, and we always love to help. Sometimes, we've been trying to reach more out to the community and do more for that. It's really satisfying, and I love doing it. It's so much fun. Also, I've worked so many camps since coming to college because there's always camps going on. We coach them and we host them. So I've worked with a lot of kids over the past 4 years, and that is very, very hard for me because a lot of the kids are just there because their parents signed them up. So trying to get them to play volleyball and actually enjoy it and have some energy and actually listen to what I'm saying is very tough. So I work on my patient skills there a whole lot. Also, they love when we have karaoke or dance contests, and I'm very, energetic and extroverted. So I'm first on stage, and that's so fun for me. But the coaching part, not as fun, but it helps with my patient skills and working with children. So it's good for me. And then this past season, we had a terrible season. We lost almost every game, or it felt like it at least. So, that taught me a lot about like my commitment, my passion for what I do. Because there was times where, I didn't want to do it anymore, but I didn't want to play volleyball. I didn't want to be a part of this, but I really stuck through, and my team, we all came together, and we kind of learned to take learn from our mistakes in the past, and we really changed it around our whole team. So like that took a lot of leadership from everyone, and it was a really good past spring to get better, and we're gonna have a great season this year. Also, this past summer, my neighbor works with a 97-year-old, and she asked me if I wanted to help her out and just a couple days a week go over and basically just be kind of someone that hangs out with her, does some dishes and housework for her, take her to lunch, make her breakfast. So that's how it started. We would go out to lunch. I would help her clean the house. She was very self-sufficient. She could do everything on her own. She was sharp as a tack. And then a few weeks in, she got sick, and that kind of just took it all from her. She eventually ended up in the hospital, and I had to take on a lot more responsibilities than I originally thought I was going to have to do. I thought that I was just going to be taking her to lunch. So it changed a lot, but I definitely learned a lot from that. And I think it was really good for me to do things like that. So here's just a few more pictures. Volleyball, my team that mean a lot to me. The bottom picture is right before the last time we were about to run up Howard's Knob, which is very testing and very hard, but at the end of it all, the view is amazing. So it's definitely worth it. So my strengths, I have an extreme work ethic, and a lot of people tell me that. That's what they admire about me, is just how hard I work, no matter the situation. I'm not the best volleyball player or athlete, but I do work the hardest, and I will say that I do because, every day in practice, I'm like the one, I'm like first up, ready to go. I'm never going to take a rep off, a day off, or anything. I go my hardest. I also have a lot of ambition for what I want to do and drive. I'm very passionate about the things that I love, which is volleyball, my family. So, I stick up for them whenever the case, and I just use my passion to drive me to success. I feel like if you don't have passion for something, then, I don't know how else you could find success, because the passion really drives me and motivates me to, be my best. I'm also very tough. I can take feedback and take, someone telling me I suck. I'll take it and try to make me better. So weaknesses is I'm very hard-headed. I'm not very agreeable, like my Big Five said. So that can get me into some trouble, but I'm trying to work on that and just listen more to what people have to say and try to, accommodate them and make everyone try my hardest. You can't always please everyone, but you can try to work things in so that people think that they're more part of the process. I'm also very, very bad at trusting and forgiving people. If someone wronged me, it's hard for me to forgive them, which I think I need to work. That's one thing I really need to work on, because you can't always think about that thing they did years ago. You have to move on and have to work with them. You can't always work with people that you love. Sometimes you work with people that you don't like. So you have to learn to get over that and do your best. So that's what I'm trying now. Also, my demeanor, I have sort of an intimidating demeanor. People tell me that when they see me walking around, they think I'm very scary, or just they talk to me and think I'm kind of scary. But I like to think that I'm not scary, but I try to work on that and just come off a little nicer sometimes. And also my passion can be a weakness because sometimes I'm so passionate about something and someone else doesn't care, and I have to kind of learn to push my passion aside and just kind of do what I'm told or do what I'm asked. So my life plan, I have these principles that I like to live by, and this kind of, helps me for future plans. And it emphasizes my strengths and helps me improve my weaknesses. This plan does. So it's have fun, work hard, and enjoy the journey is number one. So have fun with everything I do, work my hardest, and enjoy the process. Don't worry, don't get caught up in, if things don't go my way, if I keep going, I know that, I'll make it to where I want to be. Show respect with everyone I come into contact with. I think it's really important to show people respect, even if if you don't love them or, really like them, you have to show them respect. Also embrace humility. I think humility is one of the best character traits someone can have, to should be humble and, willing to take that humility. Also team over me mentality, which, that also can relate to businesses, like the group, the business, the organization's, goals over my goals is really important and something I need to like focus more on. And then constantly strive to be my best self every day. And if I do that, then I'll be the person that I want to be. If I focus consciously on being my best self and not being, working on my weaknesses and really focusing on my strengths. So this class helped me, in conclusion, to better understand my strengths and weaknesses and how to improve on them, both the strengths and weaknesses. Also, I'm more cautious of what my weaknesses are and how to improve on them. And also, this class helped me anticipate the type of role that I want to have in my future job, because I definitely don't want to have a role of someone that just sits back and doesn't really get to interact and, take a big part. I want to be more of a leader in my job and, have a front seat. So, yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching.